It is Friday, March 12th, 2021, 9:25 a.m. I'll just give a quick dream summary. Haven't done this for a few days. And I'll be cleaning my room while I do this. My CPAP machine said 10 hours, and then when I turn, like it pauses, and then it says 10 hours, 8 minutes. So I don't know where the other 8 minutes comes from. Earplugs, that's what I put in tonight, or tried to put in the morning, because my parents were banging around and that woke me up. Here, I guess I'll put this beside my bed. So the two things I remember I was dreaming intensely about working at my old office, Leo Burnett Advertising. And I guess for some reason I was back and I was in sort of the main sitting area. And my boss, Judy, sort of looked at me and she was like, "Oh, yeah, good to have you back." And I'm like, "Oh, it's good to see you again." And then what happened? Oh man, there was more to my dream. I remember it was something about working on the stuff or being briefed or whatever. But the gist of it was just that it was pretty intense to be like back in the office. And then I remembered sort of just standing in the elevator area with the glass doors on one side and the glass doors on the other side. And I just started thinking about how, at the time when I was working there, I was like, nah, I don't like going into the office. Why don't I just work from home? And but now I'm starting to think of it like, well, that was kind of like my grown-up version of residence of like living in the dorm, because it's like, you'd go to work, there'd be couches, you could work, you see people in their little areas being briefed and stuff, and people would come to your office and be like, "Hey, are you working on this?" Now that I'm even saying it out loud, I really miss it. It was cool to come in. I'd see my partner George. I'd be like, "Hey, George, what are we working on today?" And we could go for lunch together. It's really nice. So what was my boss saying in the dream? She was just like, I guess that's part that's gone. And then the other dream I remembered, I was at the top of an apartment, like a condo high up, and I could see a view of the whole city. And then I was sitting with, I guess, my girlfriend Jen or something, and it was nighttime. We had our lights off, and I'm like, "What is that? Oh my God, it's the big tripod thing from War of the Worlds. It's like this big thing on these stilts walking around." And I'm like, it's walking around, it's gonna laser everybody. I'm like, "Here, you have to hide." So I pulled her sort of, like there was a wall just beneath the window, so I'm like, "Here, let's lie down, let's lie close so it won't see us when the light shines through." But we had a cat, and the cat is over at the other window, and I'm looking over, I'm like, "Uh-oh." And then the laser comes and the cat just catches on fire, and then it sort of walked over to us, and I think kind of lay down beside Jen's leg, and I'm just like, I was just thinking, "Don't move," or whatever. And then the thing went, and we survived. So those are basically my two dreams from last night. And then when I heard like the noise from upstairs, like it was something about Diet Coke. I was gonna ask somebody for a Diet Coke or something in my dream, and then I heard a little bang upstairs, and then it sort of wakes me up. I'm like, "Oh, I'll try to fall asleep, John. Try to fall asleep again," and I can't. So, but I think I went to bed around 10:40 and put on the podcast for half an hour, and when I finally looked up at my phone, it was like 8:06 or something, 8:03, and I'm like, I guess I should get up. So I tried lying in bed for a bit longer, and then I was just like, I'm not going to fall asleep again. And I'm like, I could have a nap later if I want. And then I just started going into this panic, the regular morning panic of, what am I going to do with my life? Am I ever going to be happy? That kind of thing. Because I'm starting to realize, and this has always been the case, like my whole life has been the only joy I've known or ever thought I could feel is the stuff that's kind of based around being young, being 20 years old and staying in hostels, and which girl am I going to meet? Can I sort of flirt with anybody I meet? Can I